The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. I'm Jasmine Irujak.
And I'm Rex Lita. I'll join you later in the Bulletin for Sports.
In this edition, youngsters make independence memorable, treasure to officiate at flag racing event, and juniors select on merit. City residents came together this morning to commemorate Papua New Guinea's 48th independence with a unity walk. The amazing Port Moresby under the National Capital District Commission held a unity walk early this morning from Murray Barracks to Ella Beach as part of its city-wide celebration. The nation's capital is decorated in red, black and gold. Early this morning, residents dressed in their best PNG independence wear came together to walk for the Independence Unity Walk. The Unity Walk is a symbolization of honoring a commitment or in commemoration of a social event. The Unity Walk began at Murray Barracks and ended at Ella Beach as part of the citywide celebration.
Our city manifests the picture of Papua New Guinea, a nation of 1,000 tribes, 860 languages, so many cultures and traditions. Our journey has been long and rough too. We have faced so many trials, tribulation, so many challenges. But we are still here. We are still one nation. And this is very important for all of us. Very important. The founders of our country, they all came together. Lain Blue Yumilo Islands, Lain Blue Yumilo Mumase, the New Guinea Islands, from the Papua region, east and west, they came together and agreed that these thousands of tribes, so many languages, must come together as one nation.
Several country leaders joined the Unity Walk like City Manager Ravu Frank, Metropolitan Superintendent Silva Sika, Acting Defence Force Commander Captain Philip Polewara were present. Several support companies were present as well, including St. John Ambulance.
Unity Walk. Unity as in bringing every culture, 1,000 tribes, 1,000 languages together and walk in the sense that we walk forward. 48 years we've been walking, and we've walked through valleys, we've gone through our ups and downs, but nevertheless every country has its ups and downs as well. And I stand here as a proud Papua New Guinean, to believe that in the next 48 years, we will build this city, build this country, as one country, as one people, and one future, as in the slogans of our advertisements here.
Several traditional groups also performed after the walk, among other activities. The festivities have begun and will continue this Saturday with the flag racing ceremony. It's that time of the year. Business houses and schools hosted pre-independence all around the country. In Lae, Emmanuel United Elementary School hosted their first ever Independence Day celebrations yesterday. Parents and guardians proudly watched as their children sang their hearts out in their traditional attires.
The Emmanuel United Elementary School in Lae, Morobe Province, hosted its first ever cultural performance today at Kasawari Road. Teacher in charge, Denise Saragum, was overjoyed that her students, numbering at over 275, proudly dressed in their traditional attires and PNG colors and performed their sing-sing in their respective regions. For over 5 years now, students at Emmanuel only dress in their PNG colors to observe independence due to the limited space. The school is located within the United Church of Kasawari Road. This year, however, Saragum and her team of 8 teachers decided to do things differently by dividing the students into their respective regions of Momase, New Guinea Islands, Southern and Highlands. She expressed pride and joy that even the students' families got on board and made the event even more festive. Students from Momase were asked to perform their dance, popularly known in Morobe as Sing Sing Sia, for the second time. The children, aged between 5 and 7, sang loudly and proudly with their hearts, enunciating each word clearly. And when the second item, a song called Balum Awi by Crotons, was played, all their big sisters, aunties and mothers joined in and danced around them. The teacher in charge noted today's successful event and expressed a need for the provincial government to quickly get their school registered so they can have their own space to observe important events, as well as cater for the growing demand by parents to have their children registered there. Saragum highlighted that Emmanuel United is the only English-speaking elementary school in Ley, aside from international and privately run schools. Kamela Guare, TVWAN News, Ley.
A well-balanced diet is important for your health, regardless of your gender, age, or status. Sadly, juveniles at the Buimo Correctional Service in Ley, Morobe Province, have rice and tinned fish as their staple food. Officer in charge of the juveniles highlighted this when thanking donors for thinking of them on the 48th independence anniversary of this country.
On the afternoon of Thursday, the 14th of September, Morobe Senior Provincial Magistrate Pius Tapil and his wife donated cartons of sausages on behalf of Nawai MP Theo Pelgan, as well as soccer and rugby balls from the Tapil family. On that day too, other business houses donated cartons of biscuits, while a women's church group from Mumeng in Bulolo district shared food with the inmates. Officer in charge of the Juvenile Division at the Buimo Correctional Facility, Sergeant Kamel Chandrol, thanked the groups, business houses and individuals for thinking of them as the country prepares to celebrate its 48th independence anniversary.
In terms of food supplementary, juveniles, there are different people in prison with the adults, and one of their priorities or to have their meals must be supplemented with different types of meals that we should have. But at the moment we are only having rice and tin fish as our meals here. But I would like to see the juveniles, they change through the support of the community in rehabilitating them to become good people to get back to their communities.
According to the Juvenile Justice Act 2014, a juvenile is a person who is 10 years old or older, but less than 18 years old, who is charged with or alleged to have committed an offense. Currently, the Buimo Juvenile Unit has 57 detainees.
Yes, recently we have been more. I think there's many more. There are more remandees, we call them, than convicts. I wouldn't know why. Probably school fights and so many things that happen at school. So we have lots of school children here coming in every day. Nearly 1, 2 coming every day. So our facility there is overcrowded. It's only for 30. That's the capacity of that facility there. But at the moment we have more than 50.
Kamela Guare, TVWAN News, Ley.
Kanda International Insurance Brokers, the so-called flag carrier and one of the oldest nationally owned insurance brokers, were established in 2003. It recently celebrated 20 years of operation in the country. Kanda believes a true international company is to not be biased, but to employ people from all regions, including expatriates. Back in the early 2000s, it was challenging for nationals to own businesses for various reasons. However, the determination of Kanda International Insurance Brokers is what makes it a flag carrier and one of the oldest nationally owned insurance brokers. This year, Kanda celebrates its 20th milestone of operation in the country. Company Director and CEO for Kanda International Insurance Brokers, Ben Tiki, expressed gratitude to all staff, partners, suppliers and customers for their support towards the company. He added that customers needed to be well taken care of and treated well.
In 2003, when the opportunity presented itself, I took it leaving my comfort zone, where I was employed in the industry. I was determined to take the challenge, as I strongly believe that it was possible to set up a company, a reputable company like Kanda that we have today.
Tiki added that he couldn't have done it himself. No company, entrepreneur, or individuals can achieve things in life without support.
Kanda International employs people from throughout the country. It is a policy that we do not try to have certain employ people from a certain group. We want to spread it out as possible. And it's the same if we bring in expatriate students. We would like people from different regions to work together. And then it's actually the national company.
Minister for Mining and Petroleum Karenga Kua proudly spoke about Kanda and shared that Kanda was among the few that survived throughout the years.
So if somebody's survived 20 years, it's a phenomenal success to celebrate. 20 years of hard work, 20 years of dedicated service to Papua New Guinea through the insurance industry, and 20 years of success. And in the Papua New Guinea context, we have to be proud for the fact that this is a 100% Papua New Guinean-owned company. Not that we have anything against companies which are foreign-owned. They too have a very important role to play in this country, as they always have in the past. But as Papua New Guineans, and standing where I am as a national leader, it's particularly inspiring to see Papua New Guinean companies make progress in whatever field of business they choose. And
Kanda is licensed as a general insurance broker by the government under the Insurance Act 1995. They specialize in tailor-made risk management solutions for the customer's insurance needs. Nawab District in Morobe Province will be included in the national government's Connect PNG program, with the government committing 5 million kina to start the road project. Prime Minister James Marape made the commitment to the people of Nawaib at Boana Station Thursday.
A main road will be built from Wine to Erap, past Boana to Nabak and connecting to the Finchafen Road. Prime Minister James Marape made this commitment under the Connect PNG program. He told locals who had gathered at Boana Station on Thursday to witness the launch of their 5-year development plan that funding will be allocated starting next year to link Nawai to Finchafen and Ley. Access roads into the local level government areas will be the responsibility of the district MP, while other provincial roads fall under the jurisdiction of the Morobe provincial government.
One kina, 2 kina, lo gravel walk, at work, but now Minister come to them kissing this la road kulong pocket blocken or pocket long national correct PNG road. Today as people speak, people are running road by golong Finsapen. As soon as them start lo Pindiu, not blow by Brook one top lo mountain, go bring him talk to lo me connect him in again, online on top lo Kabum, and not lo baron guran on Nambis. Kamar lo Pindiu, na kamar lo Finsapen, we are running golong Sialum na display bolsem. And brought Baronosem. Or something, no, come up, but barely stop, think stop, bell sorry stop, people like walking, and people starting finish, ECC, talk to so. Plant the apple country too, people start to make him osem. Mila get meet him osem. You may not got enough money to make him all got something. You may like walk him 1 play year, 2 play year, 3 play year, even 4 or 5 years. The Honorable Chair Pelkins' dream for your electorate is a good dream. It's a big dream, consistent with dream belong country, a dream belong Morobe provincial government.
Prime Minister Marape encouraged residents to cooperate with the local MP, Theo Pelgen, and Governor Luther Wenge to drive development in the province.
You need to work one time, now work one time governor. Tupla maki mouse plo mi national government and tupla stablo here. Because me pa hat lo come every day lo yupla lo make him so Licklick road is alright, Licklick school is alright, Licklick housing is alright, council work good, village court work good, people sit on good, them work lo member na governor lo come look on top. Me plo long set him next.
Meantime, the Prime Minister has also committed to bring electricity into Nawai district, saying Kumul Petroleum will assist in the electrification project from the main road to Boana Station. He also committed 5 million kina to kickstart road construction there. Kamela Guare, TVWAN News, Leh.
This is TVWAN News. After the break, citizens told to utilize the land and PM to rest on Sabbath.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Want to know to win a Scale Rice Matchy Pack? Scale Rice is giving away hundreds of really scale prizes for that Scale weekend. Prizes include over 200 Scale Rice Nambi set, over 190 Scale Rice Eskis, 44 JBL speakers with 2 wireless mics. To enter, buy any Scale Rice or Ori Rice product, write your name and contact details at the back of the receipt, drop in the entry box. There's 116 winners fortnightly, 16 promo locations and 4 fortnightly draws. Time to solve.
More details in store or follow us on our social pages. Terms and conditions apply.
Papua New Guinea. We love a reason for a family gathering. A reason to play. A reason to ignite the flame. A reason to cook the best with the best. Flame Oil, now PNG made for PNG cooking. Flame Oil, winning taste.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaro, get up a big smile on face. Time for give chicken a great kumutu. Sip, sip, da moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Open it.
This is insane!
Live AFL, every week on ABC Australia.
Hello, WWE Universe. This is WWE superstar Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades. I'm here to set it all on fire. Watch WWE on Digicel TV.
It's our year. That's what the 8 final teams will be having in mind going into the finals.
You know, they've got the capability to do it in regards to talent.
It's going to be brutal. Oh! It's going down to the wire.
Superstar on superstar again.
It's going to be spectacular.
Up with a huge
Don't miss a moment in this year's finals. It's all happening right here on TVWAN Sports, your home of rugby.
Welcome back. Prime Minister James Marape has called out to Papua New Guineans to be proactive in using land resources. He said laziness is a factor of high unemployment rate and law and order issues. Marape made this comment at the sponsors' night of the World Indigenous Business Forum Wednesday evening.
During the sponsors' night of the World Indigenous Business Forum, Prime Minister James Marape called out to Papua New Guineans to be proactive to use their land, its resources, to better their lives. He said laziness is a factor of high employment rate and law and order issues.
Papua New Guineans have land, 97% of land owned by indigenous Papua New Guineans in the clan structure. How do we work to link to produce, to export, to connectivities we have in the region? Look at what we have, and I said, my goodness, we're just wasting time. So much laziness in this country, and resorting to lawlessness and resorting to every other thing and not being productive.
He said he was embarrassed during his recent visit to France when he witnessed the country's huge access to market and the production sector being massive.
You know, I came back from France. I also came back, passed through Israel and through Indonesia. These are connectivities we have, marketplace available in the region. In my conversations in France, in Indonesia, and Israel, I said market is here for everything you produce. I just feel I have no answer to tell them that I am producing because my citizens are not producing.
He said the business forum will be the platform that indigenous people around the world will show to PNG what they have produced.
So maybe we're not producing, so we have this moment where a large body of indigenous, like indigenous Papua New Guineans, come into our source and tell you and tell us that they are producing in their own places, not putting man to moon, but basic production in business, where the hand can find them to do in resource available within their reach. Not waiting for government handouts, but productivity, innovation based on inner core, decide to do something for themselves, collectively for the country.
Marape urged citizens to be proactive, innovative, and find the desire to do something for themselves and for the country. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
NCD Governor Powers Pakop has committed 1 million kina to support the 13th World Indigenous Business Forum. It will be held from the 24th to the 26th of October 2023 in Port Moresby. He said NCD is supporting this event to enable Papua New Guineans to connect with people around the world through business opportunities.
We are here to partner you, in that regard to achieve that outcome. Make it a grand, really big event for our city and, of course, for our country, for the economy and also for SMEs and, for our people to, connect with part of the world. We take it seriously in two aspects. One, in respect of, promoting businesses, getting our people to partake in the economy. That's a very serious challenge. That is a challenge that we all should take responsibility for and equally embrace as a collective responsibility of all of us.
The official raising of the PNG flag on Independence Hill Saturday morning will be done by Treasurer Ian Lingsaki and not Prime Minister James Marape, as is the tradition. Being a Sabbath keeper, the Prime Minister chose to appoint the Treasurer to officiate while his deputy John Rosso heads off to New York for the United Nations meeting. Marape revealed this in a media conference in Port Moresby today, where he took time to highlight his government's achievements over the last 4 years.
Flanked by heads of key government agencies, Prime Minister James Marape reflected on the developments that have taken place in the country under his watch. He acknowledged the many problems this country is faced with in the areas of health, education, infrastructure, and law and order.
We have an education system that is not sufficient to embrace all the educational needs of our country. We have a health system that is not sufficient to adequately dispense modern quality health services to our people.
But he said not all is bad. highlighting the government's performance over the last 4 years.
Last 4 years when we took government in 2019, we took over government from the pit holes of an economic sinkhole that we are now climbing out of. For instance, in 2018, our economic growth was at 1%. That's on record, our economic growth amongst the lowest in 2018. From there, despite COVID-19, despite the effects of the Ukraine-Russian travesty that is taking place at the moment, we have stabilized the economy.
As the nation approaches 50 years of independence, he called on citizens to respect the rule of law. He says this is the #1 step to realizing development, while quoting JF Kennedy's famous quote,
"Ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you and me do for our country?" And if you do not know the answer, I've just told you the answer already. Respect the rule of law. It's the greatest, least cost contribution every Papua New Guinean can do to your country, Papua New Guinea.
Stressing on the delivery of health services in the country, Prime Minister said money was not the issue. He attributed the lack in delivery of health services to a systems failure, which needs to be addressed. He promised the country that his government will not fail its people. In the economic sector, Marape said the economy has grown by 33 billion kina in the last 4 years and is expecting this growth to continue with the opening of the Pogra mine, the Papua and Pinyang projects, and Wafi Golpu. These projects, he says, will underpin the economic growth for the next 13 years. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Small to medium-owned enterprises must be ready to participate in the economic growth that is expected to come with the opening of 5 major projects in the country. Prime Minister James Marape called on Papua New Guinea-owned businesses to see how they can gain from these big projects. The projects include the reopening of Pogra mine, the construction of the Papua and Pinyang gas projects, Wafi Golpu, and the expansion of the PNG LNG project, following the discovery of new reserves.
Going into a time when the economy will grow like never before. I want to give assurance to our country. Whilst the big picture economy is growing, Papua New Guineans must optimize use of our government's policy, especially policy on SME. The last 3 years, we've put money into BSP and NDB.
You're watching TV1 News. We'll have news from abroad. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Hey, you want to talk? Want to win one of 4 Costa buses? Simply collect 6 SP Lager red promo caps and enter the draw at a participating store near you. There are heaps of other great prizes to win too, like SP Antes jerseys and other awesome SP Lager gifts. So enter the draw today for a chance to win. There's a bus to be won in Islands, Southern, Momase, and in New Guinea Islands. SP Lager, Bungi Mumi!
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend, PNG's own coffee.
After a humiliating loss to the Broncos, the Storm look to save their premiership hope against the red-hot Rooster side tonight.
He's got there. He's a monster of a winger. Now look past comes on. Too strong. And untouched Joey Manu. Here come the Roosters. Now Tupou. He's got that down.
This is season on the line for both teams. This is going to be a showdown you don't want to miss.
Going through Lord like a rover around the body. Oh, what a goal. That'll spark him. Pepper hits overdrive and hits a ripper. Killing Luke the handball further off. Perryman, nice collect, gave it up. Tom Green, superstar.
Welcome back. Tuvalu has made a bold proposition asserting that it will continue to exist as a country, even if the island disappears due to rising sea levels. This month, it enshrined a new definition of statehood in its constitution. The definition states the state of Tuvalu shall remain in perpetuity, notwithstanding the impacts of climate change or anything else that results in the loss of its physical territory. Former Foreign Minister and Government MP Simon Coffey said Tuvalu was the first nation in the world to define itself in this way. He said it's part of efforts to try and future-proof Tuvalu because as a state it is more than just what it's in physical. Minister Coffey added that Tuvalu's culture and history, it's the spirit of the people of Tuvalu, and that's something that could never be removed. Queensland's biggest outdoor art show will wrap up on the Gold Coast this weekend.
I'm down here on Currumbin Beach for the 2023 Swell Sculpture Festival. It's wrapping up this weekend. It ends on Sunday, but there's still plenty of time for people to get down here and check out some of the sculptures. And I'm joined by one of the artists, Cameron Swell. You were born to be here with the last name Swell, but...
No, I feel like I'm in a movie. This is crazy. Everyone's saying, oh, is this your festival? I'm like, no, not mine.
Your artwork is called Chained Plane. So this is a plane that you picked up from a plane wreckers?
Yeah, down in Melbourne, and I ferried it up on a truck all the way from Melbourne, picked up some wings for it in Sydney, and then I arrived here 4 weeks before kick-off day here. So it was a bit under duress, but I made it. Here we are, and it's a piece about freedom, really, at the end of the day.
I was going to ask you, what's the idea behind this piece of art?
Well, it comes from the lockdowns through Melbourne and how I was feeling, so it's kind of me wearing my heart on my sleeve or my heart on this plane, to be honest. Heard a lot of people connect to it, so I think it's getting good feedback. But people can take my art any way they like. But end of the day, freedom of speech, freedom. It's for anyone to take it how they like.
And you actually get smoke coming out of there. So how does that work when that's going?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I got that automated smoke machine, so it comes on a timer, and we've got music coming out of it as well. So it's ticking the boxes for all the senses. We've got sight, sound, and smell. It's strawberry scented smoke, so the kids are digging that. It's just one for all the senses, I think. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Cameron. Enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thanks very much.
So Cameron Swell, he's the artist here of Chained Plane, but there's 75 major sculptures down here along the beach at Currumbin Beach. They're not only here along the grass, but actually on the beach as well. So it's worth coming down here and have a look if you are anywhere near the Gold Coast this weekend. And of course, school holidays getting on the way, so it's a good way to bring down the kids down here for a swim as well.
Artificial intelligence is helping an Indigenous community in far north Queensland preserve its culture and history. Archaeologists and AI specialists teamed up with local Indigenous rangers to capture and document their rock art.
Artificial intelligence and ancient rock art. It's an unlikely pairing, but it's helping this Indigenous community in far north Queensland preserve its culture.
The old people painted of what they've seen. What was the resources they used, what did they hunt.
More than 10,000 rock art sites surround Laura, telling the history of the land in this remote and rugged part of Cape York.
There's a lot of new ones being found,
the past few years, sandstone that the paints have been painted on, and it gets eaten away.
Archaeologists and AI specialists have partnered with Indigenous rangers to find ways to document the fragile motifs.
If instead of us having to manually sit there and say, this is a kangaroo, it's red and white, it's, in this position, if we could get an AI to learn how to do that.
More better ways of documenting the rock art and that too, a lot easier.
Yeah, so do you want to do this one? Yeah.
The project is also giving primary school students valuable skills as they use the AI app in the classroom and take it on country.
What have you been doing with the rock art and the project here in Laura?
Taking pictures. We're learning a lot. I'm from the Rangers.
The images, like the art, will still be owned by the Indigenous community.
All the old people are smiling. They've seen paintings that they haven't seen since they were kids, and some paintings they haven't seen.
Inclusive talks in Paris between France and New Caledonia's politicians have yielded outcomes, including a French-submitted document on its future. The talks held last week aimed at resuming all-round dialogue over a possible future status for New Caledonia. Since the end of 2021 and a series of 3 referendums on New Caledonia's independence, talks had stalled. Paris has tried but failed to bring pro-independence parties to the same table. Instead, there were only separate bilateral talks between France and the pro-independence camp, and between Paris and the pro-France camp. During the latest round of talks, all sides were present for the first time in almost 2 years. The French Home Affairs and Overseas Minister put on the table a working document, which he said, albeit ambitious, remained open to modifications from all sides of New Caledonia's political spectrum. The document covers sensitive topics such as New Caledonia's future, right to self-determination, but also ways to build and strengthen the notion of a New Caledonian citizenship. The Australian Medical Association is holding a rural medical training summit in Canberra today in response to crippling rural workforce shortages and a lack of specialist training opportunities throughout regional Australia. President of the AMA, Dr. Steve Robson, says the situation is catastrophic.
Who live outside of our capital cities understand how difficult it is to see a heart specialist, a psychiatrist, a obstetrician to have a baby. There are critical shortages around the country, and Australians who live in those regions can't wait any longer. Training plays a critical role. We know that specialists and GPs who come from and train in regional areas are much more likely to stay there. So a great strategy for building a rural and regional workforce is training people in the areas, and that's what our summit is about today, how we can build training pathways that keep specialists homegrown in the areas and serve their own communities. Rural and regional Australians make a massive contribution to the prosperity of the country, to the spirit of the country, the life of the country, but they have incredible problems accessing care. We want to make sure that wherever you are in Australia, you have great access to health care, and by doing that we're going to alleviate all of the problems that we see in people in rural areas having to travel to big cities, wait a lot of long periods to get specialist care. And if we can alleviate all of that, if we can bring the specialist care out to the regions, keep it there, then we're going to have a big win for people.
A Truth and Reconciliation Commission will be established by the Fiji government to facilitate open and free engagement in truth-telling and confront fears in view of conflicting statements and utterances regarding motives behind the political upheavals, so that closure and healing for Fiji is achieved and permanently put to rest this unfortunate and turbulent chapter of its independent history. Assistant Minister for Women, Children and Social Protection, Sashi Kiran, made these comments while tabling a motion to establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Kiran said with many long years of personal engagement with the people, there are a lot of people hurting and many unresolved issues that needs closure apart from the coups and other events that have also caused pain and misery to many. She said it is time for closure and healing for Fiji and permanently put to rest this unfortunate and turbulent chapter of Fiji's history. 28 members voted for the motion, 23 were against, and 4 did not vote. And that ends the news segment. Sports is next with Rex. Stay tuned.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
William Hop Monimark belong 400,000 kina on-time roots rice. 600 per month mere by winning 500 kina each or get a fortnight. Na by got form the big plow winner belong 25,000 kina each. Long enter, buy 10 kg roots medium grain rice, cut him logo lo front long bag, write him name na number long you long backside, na put him long entry box long all participating store. Roots big for cash giveaway. No can miss out. Terms and conditions is up.
New Fabuloso multi-purpose cleaner with an irresistible fragrance that lasts all day long, creating a field of flowers in every corner of your home with an irresistible fragrance that lasts and lasts all day long. Fabuloso irresistible fragrance.
Get ready for more! Digicell's new Big Plus Supersized data plans. Now with more options, more plans, and more time. Choose from our daily plans, now valid for 24 hours, weekly plans, or even a monthly plan from our suite of Big Plus Supersized data plans. All with more data and starting from as low as 1 kina. Yes, you heard right. What's up, Asol? Yes, yeah. Only Digicell's Big Plus Supersized data plans gives you more. Activate today on My Digicell app or dial *675# only with Digicell.
Proudly facilitating PNG's growth and prosperity for over 48 years. Happy Independence, Papua New Guinea.
Pickett at the back, Power in front, Pickett's taken the mark. Pickett does play on around the corner and kicks the goal. And he dribbles it through. They are still alive. Curnow the target, in front was Martin. The handball over the top. Here's McCoy, shuffling it out to Curnow. Dribble all on the ground. They've got 2 and 2 minutes, the Blues. The MCG's erupted. Acres, there's your game.
Welcome back. Both the men and women's teams for this year's Prime Minister Stettin were announced yesterday in Port Moresby. The clash against the Australian PM Stettin is scheduled for the 23rd and 24th September at the Santos National Football Stadium, Port Moresby. The Kumuls team is dominated by the PNG Hunters with 9 players, 5 from Queensland Rugby League, 4 from NRL, 1 from Super League and 1 from the Digital Cup. The PNG Junior Kumuls and Junior Orchid teams were also announced yesterday.
The much anticipated announcement of the PNG PM's 13 Kumuls and Orchids took place today here at the Rugby League capital, Santos National Football Stadium. Officiating on the occasion today, Kumuls chairman Wapu Song and Santos country manager Leon Baskins. In the Kumuls lineup, we have 9 players from the Hunters, 5 from other QRL clubs, 4 from NRL, 1 from Super League and 1 from the DDSL Cup. Also, for the first time in the history of the PM's 13, we'll see the Junior Kumuls and Junior Orchids go around against the Australians.
18 players selected by the team, coach and committee that makes up the selection committee are, number 1 is Tri Stewart, is the right name? Tri Stewart from Dragons, Illawarra Dragons in Australia. Number 2 is Robert Debbie from the Cowboys. Number 3 is Roderick Tai from the Hunters. Number 4 is Zach Labert from Cowboys.
Song said the squad is made up of QRL players followed by NRL, Super League and DDSL Cup. Meanwhile, the junior Kumuls team is dominated by players from the various senior and junior development pathways under the PNG RFL programs. Before announcing the Orchids team, Santos country chairman and naming rights sponsor Leon Baskin said the company is proud to be part of the women's game and especially seeing the evolution of Orchids with a great potential to become a powerhouse outfit at the international level as seen at the recent Rugby League World Cup and beating the England Roses at home in 2019. Baskins was excited to see for the first time the junior Orchids being showcased this year. The Orchids has 5 NRLW, 4 QRL, while the rest picked from the National Women's Confederate.
So, number 1 is Alma Johnson from Northern. Number 2, Belinda Guasamun from Highlands and North Devil, Queensland Cup. Number 3 is Betsy Ba Awoy from Southern and North Devil also, Queensland Cup. Number 4, Emily Weavers from Tigers, Queensland Cup. Number 5, S.A. Banu from National Rugby League Women's Comp. She's with Queensland Cowboys.
Kumuls chairman Wapu Song clarified that after the PM's 13, there will be another Kumuls selection for the end of the year Pacific Championships against Fiji, Samoa and Cook Islands to be played here at the Santos National Football Stadium. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports, NFS, Port Moresby.
For the first time in the history of Prime Minister's 13 Rugby League concept, junior Kumuls and junior Orchids will feature against their Australian counterparts. Former PNG Hunters head of high-performance trainer Solomon Kuluniasi has taken charge as head coach of the junior Orchids. The young ladies are in camp. Former Cronulla and Parramatta assistant coach Joe Grimmer is taking care of the junior Kumuls.
Selections for the junior sides, both Kumuls and Orchids, have been done on merit on the age eligibility of players picked from the senior men and women's competitions. Players who played at the senior level this year are still under 20 as captured in the PNG RFL official players database. Both coaches expressed great delight and satisfaction on the selection of the teams, adding all due processes were followed. Junior Orchids coach Solomon Kuluniasi clarified that 24 of the girls in the squad are already playing in the seniors division, and this made selection easy.
There was about four NGI girls that were under 20, 2 Northern girls that were under 20, 7 were from Southern, and another, I think 10 from Highlands. So in total there were about 24 girls, so the pick was pretty easy. I didn't have to look at 21-year-olds or 22 or 23 or 24. So only about six missed out on the selection. So 18 girls arrived here. We're currently in camp training. So we needed 2 weeks to get them right.
Junior Kumuls coach Joe Grimmer says he has no issues with the selection, saying all players were picked on merit according to statistics on record, except for those who missed out due to non-compliance.
We've got 3 players that we've identified from Australia, and they're linked to Manly, Gold Coast and the Cowboys. We've also identified players from all 4 regions of Papua New Guinea, and to top all that off, we've identified the best 6 or 7 eligible base players from the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup. And what we want to do is provide a platform for those young men.
The junior Kumuls and junior Orchids will play the Australians on Sunday, September 24, as curtain raiser to the PNGDF and ADF match. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Naming rights sponsor for the PNG Orchids, Santos has continued its proud legacy of supporting the national sport of Rugby League, especially in Women's Rugby League. Santos Country Chairman Leon Maskens again echoed the company's passion and commitment to rally behind the national women's team for the PM's 13 match against the Australian Belarus next Saturday, September 23rd in Port Moresby. Maskens said the company is proud to be part of the women's game and to see the gradual evaluation of the orchids with great potential to become a powerhouse in the region.
Branding on the jumpers for us is advocacy. It's about values, character, and also for us men, that 50% of our population in the country are women and girls, and that respect, that appreciation in partnership. In our homes, in our communities, in the workplace, we respect our women and girls in the country. And that's the voice from this rugby league competition and sponsoring women and girls in Papua New Guinea.
The PNG Boxing Union will be sending 3 boxers to the Oceania Olympic qualifier in November. After announcing the final squad for the upcoming Pacific Games, PNG Boxing Union has also confirmed 3 of our current top boxers, namely John Ume, Alan Vayake, and Charles Keama for the Oceania Olympic qualifier, which will be staged around about the same time as the Pacific Games. PNG Boxing Union General Secretary Martin Leary said, "This is a good challenge for our top 3 boxers who will be up against Oceania powerhouse Australia and New Zealand."
Best and prepared. We're preparing our athletes as best as possible, and realistically we've decided to enter 3 boxers in this particular competition, and that's John Nome in the 63.5 kilograms, Alan Waike. John, for those who are not aware, competed at the last Tokyo Olympic Games, so he's had some experience at international level. Alan Waike is a young boxer that has come in, and he's really established himself as one of our leading boxers in the country. He will be competing in the 57 kilograms, and you could say one of the leaders of our team, Charles Keama. He's going to be competing in the lighter weight divisions. So those are our 3 boxers that we've entered for the Olympic qualifiers.
The Momase Regional Youth Games is set to kick off on the 25th of September in Madang Province. The Games will feature 4 different sporting codes. Chief Executive Officer of the PNG Sports Foundation, Albert Veratau, confirmed this in the recent press conference in Port Moresby. With less than a week to go, Momase Regional Youth Games has attracted interest from all provinces in the region. PNG Sports Foundation CEO Albert Veratau confirmed receiving reports of the game, with indications that most provinces and districts in the region are ready for it. Veratau said the event will feature basketball, soccer, volleyball and rugby touch. These sports are played widely and will be great for the youths to participate in familiar sports. Some other sports will be added in the future regional games. The event is expected to host more than 4,000 youths at the Laiwaden Oval in Madang. The week-long sporting event is also a uniting event for the youths of the region. Veratau said the Momase Regional Youth Games is the first in the region and second in the country since the inception of the Games. The first regional games was held by Southern Region in Alotau, Milne Bay Province. With the success of the Games, the event will be expanded to other regions of the country in the years to come. The event will mark the start of a sporting feast for the country as they prepare for the Pacific Games in November and PNG Games later in December to conclude the year.
But I think it's a good way to finish the year off, considering we have the Regional Youth Games in Madang in September this year, end of this month, and of course the Pacific Games in November, and then a nice way to finish off the year for sport with the PNG Games in December. So we look forward to that.
Meanwhile, Veratau added that events like this is not about winning or losing. It is about promoting peace and healthy living. The BSP School Likli cricket program in the nation's capital ended its Term 3 competition blast this week. 4 schools participated in the program. Every school year Likli cricket program is rolled out to schools targeting students under 13 and under 15 years of age. It introduces them to the basic skills and knowledge of cricket.
About 160 young boys and girls representing 4 schools, Bawaroko Primary, Tediro Primary, Hagara Primary, and New Generation Christian Academy, converged at the Bisney cricket pitch on Wednesday this week to display their cricket talent under the BSB League League Cricket program. League League Cricket development officers were at hand to organize fun games with the youngsters in their respective age groupings of under 13 and under 15. Helai Willie, NCD League League Cricket Development Officer, said the end of Term 3 competition blast was fun and entertaining. The youngsters tried out their cricket skills in batting, fielding and catching. It was a culmination of 8 weeks of Term 3 with the participating schools.
Yeah, they have learned some basic skills, and this day is their time to take them out to have fun. In cricket, we have 3 main basic skills. We have bowling, batting, and fielding. So from this term, from week 1 to week 8, we just went out to the schools and taught them all the basic skills. And
Willie said the cricket blast also coincides with the country's 48th independence celebrations. Christina Iru, a teacher with New Generation Christian Academy, was overwhelmed by the level of enthusiasm and interest shown by all the students. She admitted it was a lot of fun.
It's our first time to come out and participate like this, apart from rugby. Yeah. So when we brought the students out, it was very exciting. They were overexcited about it. Some of them don't know how to play cricket, but when they came here, they are getting to know rules and how to play the ball and how to probably catch the ball. And yeah, it's exciting for the students, and it's making us also excited about, like, you know, seeing them enjoy the game out here, not only themselves but other schools as well.
And this was actually my first time playing cricket. It was a fun experience and all.
I'm happy that I'm being here to play cricket. So I love cricket. Thank you.
My first time to experience the first game in my life. That was a great game.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
And now we are the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Weather for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Momase region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, late cloudy periods with evening drizzles. Highlands region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, cloudy period with possible evening showers. Goroka and Kundia were partly cloudy with evening showers as well. Southern region, windy condition and isolated showers. Port Moresby windy and partly sunny. Daru and Kerema windy and partly cloudy. New Guinea Islands region, isolated showers and thunderstorms scattered over Manus and northern NI province. Ocean forecast for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea, Solomon Sea and Bismarck Sea, seas rough to very rough with southeast winds of 25 to 33 knots, reaching 47 knots. Coastal waters forecast for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Islands to Kerema to Yule Island to Port Moresby to Hood Point to Samarai Island. Seas 2 to 3 meters. And that ends the news tonight. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.